Listen closely, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you think you know about the night sky. What if there is a galaxy so faint it's practically invisible? A vast city of gravity hiding in plain sight. A dark galaxy that consumes light, not by shining, but by swallowing. Tonight we dive into the shadows between the stars, where matter outweighs starlight, where dust drinks photons like a desert drinks rain, and where a colossal black heart may sit at the center, silent, patient, and hungry. Picture a cathedral of darkness spanning hundreds of thousands of light years, its spiral arms not of glittering stars, but of cold gas and ancient dust. Its architecture held together by something we cannot see and barely understand. In your mind's eye, dim the universe until only whispers remain. The tug of gravity, the shiver of gas as it falls, the faint afterglow of star ashes. Welcome to the dark galaxy. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It is found by its footprint, by the way it bends background light like a glass lens in space, by the way stars that do exist within it move too quickly, as if a ghostly hand is pulling them. By the way, radio telescopes catch reservoirs of hydrogen with no brilliant stellar city attached. Imagine astronomers staring at data that makes no sense. A massive halo, billions of solar masses strong, yet almost no gleam, like discovering a skyscraper from its shadow alone. This is the paradox of the cosmos. Most of what exists doesn't glow. Dark matter, the invisible scaffolding of the universe, wraps galaxies in halos like a clenched fist around sand. The more tightly it holds, the less light escapes. In a dark galaxy, gravity is the architect and the jailer. It gathers gas, corrals it, cools it, and then, like a miser, refuses to spend it on starlight. Why? Sometimes the gas is too diffuse to collapse. Sometimes it's stirred, heated, or torn by tidal forces. Sometimes feedback from long-dead stars poisons future births. And sometimes an enormous black hole at the core puffs out energy that keeps the galaxy's lungs from breathing stars into life. Now think about light itself. In most galaxies, light is our storyteller. It streams from newborn clusters, spills from ancient suns, ricochets off dust, and arrives to us as a message across the ages. In a dark galaxy, the story is written in negative space. Light enters, but it does not return. It's smothered by thick lanes of cold dust, transformed into longer, redder wavelengths, or swallowed by the curvature of space around an abyss at the center. If you could fly a camera through this place, you'd see something uncanny. Clouds darker than the space around them. Lanes of soot-thick dust braided like rivers. Far-off pinpricks of background galaxies warped into arcs and smears by the halo's gravitational lensing. The stars here, those few that exist, move like sparks in a coal mine, fast, jittery, obeying a gravitational pull far stronger than their numbers should allow. That mismatch is the telltale signature, mass without light. It's how we find the unfindable. We scan for the way starlight curves. We map the speed of starlets and gas clouds. We listen in radio to hydrogen's 21-centimeter whisper. We let infrared eyes pierce dust curtains. We let X-rays betray hot halos. And now we let next-generation instruments peel back cosmic soot to expose structure that optical telescopes simply cannot see. And the latest clues? They point to a universe where the earliest galaxies formed startlingly fast and sometimes stayed shrouded, smothered in their own birth clouds, hidden behind thick molecular fog. It's not just that dark galaxies exist. It's that darkness might be a phase. Galaxies move through, briefly luminous, then quenched, then relit, then muffled again by dust and dynamics. Imagine a titanic loop. Gas falls in along cosmic filaments, cold and clean. Turbulence and collisions try to spark stars. A central engine, perhaps a supermassive black hole, heats the gas, stalls the star factories, and pushes the galaxy into a low-light coma. From a distance, it looks like nothing. a patch of night indistinguishable from the void, until you track the way it distorts what lies behind it. That distortion is a fingerprint. It tells us the halo is there, heavy and extended like a dark crown. But a crown needs a sovereign, and here sits the king, the black hole. It doesn't need to be ablaze with jets to rule. Even when quiet, its gravity can shape orbits. When it flares, it can loft shock waves that shut down star formation like a citywide blackout. Every photon that strays too close is twisted, delayed, tinted by gravity's invisible glass. In a very real sense, the galaxy consumes light by changing its path, its color, even its destiny. And yet, paradoxically, this is how we see it. Not by its glow, but by its theft. Picture a beam of light leaving a blue galaxy billions of light years beyond. On its journey, it grazes the dark galaxy's halo and splits, one path bending left, another right, arriving at Earth as two images of the same distant source, smeared and magnified. Astronomers stack those images, weigh the lens, and whisper, "There's a giant there, a giant without jewels." The deeper we look, the more we find galaxies that refuse the Hollywood script. Some are smudges with the mass of a lion and the light of a mouse. Others are dusty dynamos, raging with hidden starbirth that only millimeter and infrared eyes can hear. Both types consume light, one by never making it, the other by trapping it behind curtains of soot. The dark galaxy sits at the intersection, a master of misdirection. And the environment matters. Near clusters, tidal forces can strip stars like leaves from branches, leaving behind halos rich in dark matter and gas. In isolation, gas can be too calm or too warm to collapse, held up by pressure and spin until time itself seems to run out. Either way, darkness wins not by force, but by stalemate. Gravity wants stars. Physics says, not yet. Now, close your eyes and imagine the timeline. In the early universe, density peaks seed halos like raindrops forming on dust. Some light up quickly, cosmic fireworks, but others remain dim, their gas trapped in a perpetual prelude. As eons pass, a few awaken. Feedback wanes. A filament feeds cold fuel, and the first clusters ignite like embers in a cave. Others never kindle, forever invisible except for their pull. This perhaps is the most unsettling truth. The night is not empty. It is crowded with failed galaxies, ghostly attempts, and dark giants that rule without shining. And if you could touch the dark galaxy, run your fingers across the map of its mass, you'd feel the contour of something alien, a halo so extended that stars at the edge fly as if slingshot, a core where gravity's well drops off a cliff, and in the middle, a silence so complete, even light loses its way. But here's the twist. The darkness is not the end of the story. It's a laboratory. By measuring these lightless behemoths, we test the very nature of the invisible. Does dark matter clump like cold grains or smear like a fluid? Do tiny collisions within the halo change how stars move? Do we see hints that gravity behaves differently in the deepest shadows? The answers live in the shapes of lenses, the speeds of tracers, the glow, or lack of glow, from gas that should, by all accounts, be making suns. Every dark galaxy we weigh is a question posed to the universe, and the universe answers in riddles. Sometimes we find a faint sprinkling of stars, like snow on black rock. Sometimes we find a core bursting with dust-obscured birth, hidden factories that only radio and infrared can catch. Sometimes we find nothing but gravity. No matter which, the verdict is clear. Light is not the boss here. Gravity is. And gravity does not care if we can see it. So when someone asks, how can a galaxy consume light? Tell them, it steals it by warping space. It muffles it with dust forged in ancient supernovas. It prevents it by halting starbirth before it begins. It feeds it to a central black hole and keeps the receipt in the orbits of terrified stars. It is a thief, a librarian, and a king all at once, filing photons away where our eyes cannot follow. In the end, the dark galaxy is a mirror for our ignorance. The cosmos is not obligated to be visible. Most of its mass is hidden. Most of its story is whispered, not shouted. But we are learning the language of the whisper, the bending of light, the breathing of gas, the secret signatures of dust. With every new instrument that opens its eyes, the night gets less opaque. We will not make the darkness vanish. We will understand it. And perhaps that's the real magic, that in a universe where light can be devoured, knowledge still finds a way to shine. So keep watching the places where nothing seems to be. In the emptiness between the bright things, a giant waits with a crown of gravity and a heart of shadow. It won't wave, it won't roar, it will sit, immense and silent, bending the path of every photon that dares to cross its realm. And somewhere, in that quiet, a new kind of seeing is born. The kind that doesn't need light to know what's real. That's the dark galaxy. That's the place where the universe keeps its secrets. And now, you've been there.